Hi, this is Shelley Kraft. We're coming to you live on SNN Live. We're at the Cambridge House International Summer Event in Vancouver 2012. I have Leonard Melman of the Melman Report, www.themelmanreport.com. And, of course, he is a featured speaker at Cambridge House. Leonard, welcome to SNN Live again.
It's a real pleasure to be with you once again, and especially in such interesting times.
Well, I know it's not going to take a lot for me to prod that out of you. So why don't you tell me what you're speaking on at the conference?
Okay, the title of my presentation is Forecast for the Second Half of 2012 - Reason for Optimism, ? So, and what I will lay out is a very believable, at least to me, case for people to become more optimistic, particularly about the precious metals.
And give me a rundown on why.
I hope people listening to this aren't particular fans of the present political institutions, but what I believe deeply is the almost universal collapse of economies around the world is scaring the heck out of people. It's also causing them to doubt the wisdom of our economic and political leadership. And if they doubt the wisdom of the conventional economic and political leaders, then it stands to reason they're going to want to take some of their capital out of conventional investments and turn it over to the historic storehouses of value, gold and silver. I think last Friday's market really was that kind of market. It was just a steady, relentless buying that had nothing to do with one event. So that's what I think is going to happen. We may be very near a point of inflection right now where more and more people are going to get frightened, and in that frightened mood, they will turn more and more to gold and silver.
Well, you have an election year coming in Washington, D.C. There's a chance that Mitt Romney may choose Donald Trump as his running mate against the Obama, and we're not necessarily sure it's going to be Biden. Somehow, there's probably going to be a run on gold and silver, if you ask me.
Well, I agree with you, and I will candidly say I'm not impressed, particularly with Mitt Romney, only in this sense. I won't say a word about his character. I'm sure he's a fine man. But I don't detect a strong commitment in him to diminished government. I think he still believes in a strong government, that it is the instrument of improving society and the economy, and I think that's the last thing that the economic structure needs. We need freedom, we need free enterprise, we need a strong currency, and I don't believe we're going to get those from a Romney administration. Of course, candidly, I don't think we are getting that from the Obama administration. In fact, for 4 years, I felt their answer to a raging fire is to pour more gasoline on it. That's what we've had. That's why the world now is turning out to be a very dangerous place.
Now, people come and fill up the speaker halls. You in particular always have a full room when you're speaking. What is the consensus opinion of the people who come to listen to Leonard Melman? What are they thinking? What are they asking? What kind of questions? And I pose to you, please tell me the most common question that they're asking you.
The most common question I get is, why was gold in 2008 at approximately 900 and gold today is 1600? Why have my shares done so poorly?
Great question.
I've heard that over and over again. I just spoke at a convention in Placerville, California. I must have been asked that a dozen times. The answer to my way of thinking is it has nothing to do with the intrinsic value of the gold that's in the ground. That's unchanging. What has changed is the amount of time and the complexity involved in bringing a discovery into eventual production. 30 years ago, you hired a geologic team, they did their preliminary survey, they did some drilling, and within a very short period of time you had the basis for raising money to go into production. 30 years now later, you have environmental reports, you have public relations reports, you have Aboriginal community claims, you have Department of Fisheries and Oceans concerned about whether the stream of water going out of your project will ruin the waters around the world. It is almost endless, and the sentiment is that it is going to take much more time and much more money to create a mine that causes dilution of shares on a terrifying level. And that's why, in a nutshell, I think that mining has become a more uncertain field. If we get a tremendous boost in gold and silver during the second half of this year, then I think that could be enough to at least change the psychology, and we could have something resembling a catch-up rally for the second half of the year. I think that's a distinct possibility.
You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Leonard Melman, the Melman Report. The website is www.themelman, a featured speaker at Cambridge, and always a welcome guest on SNN Live. Thank you, Leonard, for coming.
It's always my pleasure to be here.
Good to have you.